Hello everybody, coming at you today with a new video for a LEGO Star Wars review. We have set number 75386, the Moff Gideon versus Paz Vizsla battle. So this set came out in 2024 and retailed for 40 bucks at the time and contained 289 pieces. So this set is still on shelves at the time of this recording. I believe it's about to retire soon, but you can find this for less than 20 bucks in some places, so it's pretty heavily discounted. I don't think it's sold super well, but we'll do a deeper dive into the video and share my thoughts, but I don't think it's all that bad. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So starting us off, we have a couple of fantastic minifigures. On the left here, we have Paz Vizsla, and then on the right is Moff Gideon in his Mandalorian armor. These are the namesakes of the set. So this Paz Vizsla is very, very similar to the one that we got in the Armorer set, a few years ago. So I have right next to him the minifigure from that set, and they are almost completely identical, save for one little difference. They're backpacks. So the only difference is actually the brick-built backpack, and it's this clip here. That's what makes this one exclusive, and the other one, is technically exclusive for that reason as well. So Paz Vizsla here, he looks fantastic regardless. They nailed him the first time around. The sand blue mold for his helmet and the extra armor padding looks really good. The print looks pretty solid. I don't think it looks super accurate because if I remember right, his helmet visor looks a little boxier than it does right here, but it looks pretty solid in Lego form. The extra armor padding, because Paz is super bulky in the show, looks pretty great. You can see the printing poking through underneath for his torso, and then the leg armor as well. I'll take off the armor so you can see that print a little bit better here in a second. Then on the side here, you can see that wicked cool mythosaur print for his shoulder visor. It does not have one on the other side. No arm or leg printing on this guy. On the back here is, of course, his backpack, which makes him different from the previous version. It's brick built. It's got these two headlight style bricks attached to each other so that you can have these studs poking up on the top and on the bottom as well. And it does just attach to those studs on the back of there. Paz does come with a weapon here. He's got his signature minigun. So it's a little funky, it's a little bulky, but you kind of just attach it and, you mows people down. Pew, pew, pew. On the right is maybe the best minifigure of the entire year of 2024. This is Moff Gideon in his Mandalorian armor. This guy is super cool. The prints are great all the way around. His torso here looks fantastic. The lining and the armor printing looks great. And then also on the legs as well. But his helmet is super, super cool. This is an exclusive mold. It is different from, actually, you know what? I have to double check. It might be the same as the Gar Saxon one, but it still looks really cool regardless. It does have the horns on top like the Darth Maul, and then the visor is printed in the red color. On the back here, he does have his jetpack with a little printed tile on that as well. Taking off the helmets here, Paz is completely solid black because they never showed the actor Jon Favreau or the voice of Paz in there, so you never see his face, so he is totally blank. But we do have Moff Gideon as well, and the set does include a hairpiece to show that, or to put on if you want to just display him unhelmeted, which is really nice. It's a nice touch. And then he does have an alternate head where he's looking pretty angry. Then removing the backpack and the armor, you can see the prints a lot better. Moff Gideon does have back printing underneath the jetpack, which is cool. Great lining, as Lego usually does. Then you can see Paz Vizsla's armor a little bit better as well. He does actually have an armor print underneath there, so if you don't want both of your Paz Vizslas, if you got both sets, you can make this into a custom Mandalorian, which is pretty cool. You can see his arm's a little better there, molded in the light bluish gray. And then on the back, he does also have back printing as well, which is great to see. I wish they would maybe not give us back printing and maybe throw on some arm or leg printing, but oh well. Beggars can't be choosers. The back printing does look cool. It's like the attachment for a jetpack. But that does it for these two minifigures. Let's get on to the X2. Next up, the set gives you 2 Imperial Praetorian Guards. So if you guys have at all watched any of my past videos, you know I am a sucker for these red troopers. And these guys are no exception. Even though they're pretty goofy looking, like, you know, the helmet here is maybe not the best representation of the Praetorian Guard. These guys, I still like these guys quite a bit. So this is a brand new mold for the Imperial Praetorian Guard. So you can kind of see, like, it just looks a little funky because the visor is super flat. But you know, it looks fine. They catch the visor. The visor lines here pretty cool. And then of course the armor design on the torso here is pretty solid. And then the waist cape is also looks really good. Like, besides like maybe some color issues, Lego hardly ever does, you know, bad printing. And these guys are no exception. They're really cool. Going to the side, you can see there is no arm or leg printing. And then on the back is very simple, just the, you know, standard kind of trooper armor mold there, or armor design. They're very reminiscent of what the First Order turns into. And of course, the First Order also has Praetorian Guards. Underneath is just a solid red head. So looks like that, nothing fancy, but of course these guys are army builders. I've been noticing Lego doing a lot more just like solid colored heads for army builders. So, you know, I wonder if stormtroopers will start doing that too, or if they will continue to put all these, you know, various heads underneath them. I'm a fine either way. I think I actually don't mind the solid color heads, because that makes it a lot easier to collect for the wall, and also makes me have to get a lot less guys and fill up spots for the wall. But also having different faces makes each trooper seem different, and, you know, different representation, and then also, you know, it just gives them more personality. So either way, I'm fine with the solid red and solid black that we see for Paz Vizsla and other Mandalorians, and I'm also totally cool with different unique face prints. These guys do each come with a different weapon. So Lego gives you this like kind of whip here. I think in the show this breaks into a whip, and like an electro whip, and then shocks people. And this one is just, you know, the classic electro staff here. So nothing super fancy. Not a huge fan of these little weapon designs, but Lego did the best that they could with, you know, the source material. They are built with the longer kind of barbell piece that I think Monkey Kid was the first to introduce them, but makes it for a good double-bladed lightsaber mold as well. So that does it for the 2 minifigures. Let's get on the actual build itself. Alrighty, so for the actual set itself, you do just get this door and turret. And, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the, you know, display type sets, at least for the lower price point, because you can't really do a whole lot with them. You just kind of get a facade, and then like this one, you know, you get a little bit of turret. But this one actually looks really good. I'm a pretty big fan of how all the details came out on this one. So this one I'm a lot bigger fan of than, say, like the Tantive 4 or the Mandalorian battle pack. Like, dear Lord, this one is actually pretty solid. So you can see the main points here are the big turret here. This thing does shoot. You know, you have the stud shooters, a great play feature for a kid. And since Moff Gideon doesn't actually come with any weapon, he is supposed to sit in here and he's the one shooting. At least that's how, you know, Lego tells you to do it. So it gives him something to do besides just sitting there. They also have the door here, and the door looks really cool. Of course, in this scene, no spoilers, the door is pretty important to what happens. You do have a control panel here. This set gives you one of these little crates here. And I like how these ones look. It's the same design from the Mandalorian battle pack, and it does give you these printed grenades here. So this is a cool little crate design. Spruce up your mocks or displays. These are stickered pieces here for the light fixtures. While this is, of course, a print, we see that in a lot of different sets. The floor has a little bit of detail, some tile work, and then the grate pieces, and then the hopper for your minifigures to stand on. You can just set a guy there. So it makes it look sleek while actually letting your minifigures stand. since this is the Caverns of Mandalore, they do have the rock work that you see in the show. And then on the side there, you can see it kind of continues. We'll flip it around here real quick for you. So looking at it from the back side, it is very, very ugly. This does not look good at all. You definitely want to be displaying it from the front. But you can kind of see it does have a little light here. And then the action feature, so besides the turret up here, the action feature is this little clip here, and you can lift that up there. Sorry, I think my AC just kicked on if you hear that. But you flip this little lever here, and it does keep the door up, and then to make the door slam shut like in the show, you just flip it up here, and it slides back into place. There is this little crevice area here. You can kind of see in the middle, it does have Moff Gideon's cruiser for a sticker piece there. There's also a clip if you want to put a weapon of some sort. And from the top, it looks equally as ugly. You know, you don't want to be looking at it from the top. So yeah, we'll keep looking at it from there. So let me reset one more thing, and I'll show you one additional feature. Alrighty, so the last little thing here is if you have the Ambush on Mandalore battle pack, this piece of junk right here, you can actually connect them. They have this bar piece here. I'll show that a little bit better. They have that bar piece there that this clip here will just clip on to, and you can expand your set a little bit. You know, doesn't look super great. They just kind of throw the two sets together. But, you know, if you do have the set, you can expand it a little bit. And this is kind of what I was speaking to a little bit earlier. The smaller price point, you know, building style sets, the buildings don't look super great because they're limited by their piece count and price. But this does make it, you know, expand a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. So if you're a kid playing with it, or you're trying to make a display, this does expand it a little bit more and adds a little bit of value to it, I think. But that does it about for the review of the set. Stay tuned, I'll throw the minifigures on the wall if you're at all interested in seeing where they belong. But for a rating for the set, I would probably give this actually a B. I think it looks pretty good from this angle at least. And the minifigures are pretty phenomenal. The price point isn't great, but you know what Lego set is these days, and now you can get it on a pretty heavy discount. So I think a B is a very fair, you know, assessment for this set. So 1 second, I'll throw these guys on the wall. Alrighty, so here's the wall in all of its glory. For those of you who don't follow the channel, I'm working on collecting every Lego Star Wars minifigure ever made. I'll put a link to the playlist up in the corner here. But for these 4 guys from the set, they do go almost all the way down here at the bottom. They go next to the Grogu speeder bike chase guys. So they're right here in this little corner. So that about does it for this review. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and like, comment, subscribe, and join the Emperor's Legion. I'll see you all later.